So on this Nissan Versa 2007, we are going to change out the clock spring. We have an airbag light that comes on all the time. We've checked out fuses, we've checked out all the other connectors, and so now we are going to change the clock spring. So we'll remove the airbag, we'll change out the clock spring, and I trust that it's going to fix our airbag light problem. So because we're going to work on the airbag, we have to remove the power to the airbag, and so we'll remove the negative side of the battery. And you're going to have to just keep this removed for about 5 minutes or so before you start any work on there, just to make sure that any latent charge that's there is dissipated. So to remove the airbag, we have to remove 3 clips, one on each side. This opening right here, there might be a little cap you have to remove. This vehicle's, the cap is gone. But you go in through here with a screwdriver, just a flathead. And how you want to turn it is you want to turn it that the flathead is going to face this way. Because there's going to be a little spring that you have to depress. And as your screwdriver goes in, you're going to have to kind of keep it to the front side of the vehicle. So you want to angle it, keep it against the far side as you go in, and you'll feel that little spring, and you just want to press that and then pull on the top here, pull slightly, and you'll do that for both sides. When you come from this side, just position the screwdriver the same way, and you'll feel it. It's towards the front of the vehicle. And just press that in and just pull. So as you pull this, you'll just see slight movement here. It just doesn't line up exactly like it used to. It doesn't come out a lot, it's just a little bit there. And now you've got to do the 3rd clip, which is at the bottom right here. So now what we need to do is to create an opening here to go in with a small screwdriver to release the 3rd lock that we have. Then you have to go in with another screwdriver and hit a certain spot, and I will show you just now what I mean. So now let me show you what it looks like underneath. As you turn this around, be careful with all the connectors that you have. This is your horn right here, and this is a very short lead. So you got to undo this one first. So to remove these, you first of all need to move these locking tabs over here, and you can just lift them up with a little pick or a small screwdriver. Once you've got them out, it just comes out just like that. So when we come in from the side with a screwdriver, we're going to push that spring clip in like that, and it releases the hooking clip up there. So that's what you do from that side, and then you do the same from the other side. This is a difficult one, and you need to come in from here, and you need to be pushing this down like that, so it unclips. And you need to get your screwdriver in like that, and then put some pressure downwards on it. Now we have to loosen the steering wheel, and we need to loosen the steering wheel nut over here. You want to make sure your steering wheel is straight, positioned straight ahead, and you'll see some marks there inside that lines up with marks on the steering wheel housing on the outside. So make sure that you can identify those and that they're all lined up, because that's how you're going to put your steering wheel back in again. This is a 19mm socket. We'll put that on. Make sure you grip the steering wheel tight, and then it's going to be lefty-loosey. There it goes. The steering wheel nut comes out just like that. Put that in a safe place. So make sure you know where your marks are. There's a mark right there that lines up with that one there. the bottom mark there lines up with that one and with that one as well. So that's how you're going to put your steering wheel back once you've done with the clock spring. So now you want to undo this connector here before you pull your steering wheel off. Now if this connector right here has a tab in the bottom, you need to press that tab in and then pull, and the whole thing slides right out. Now don't be worried, when you put this back in, it can only go in one way because of the design, so you won't make a mistake when you want to put it back in afterwards. Sometimes the steering wheel can be quite tight, and to get that loose you have to just give it a few hammerings like that. It'll shake it loose and you can pull it up, pull it right out. There we are. That's our clock spring right there. Now to remove this housing here, to get the clock spring out, we've got 3 screws, one in here, one there and one there. This one here keeps the top part of the housing screwed on, and these 2 are for the bottom part. These are Phillips screws, by the way. And now you have access to your clock spring, and we're just going to remove that now. So we have 2 Phillips screws, once again, one in there we have to remove, and there's a clip at the top. These 2 screws don't have to come out, you just got to loosen them up. You just press down and it just slides out just like that. So to remove this connector you have to depress this tab and then you pull that out. Now you have to remove these 2 over here. Press this tab down and then slide the connector out. There you go. So this is the new one we ordered, and this is our current one, and you can see they have the same connectors. It looks pretty much the same. And if we look from this side, these look pretty much the same. And then from this side, take that plastic covering off, and they look pretty similar as well. So I think this might be a good replacement for what we have. So we need to remove this control arm and transfer it to the new clock spring. And you'll see 2 tabs, one is there and one is there. You just press those 2 in and the whole thing moves out just like that. And now this should just slot right in again like that. Just make sure you line up your connector there to that connector right there. There it is, it clicks right in. Now on the other side we'll do the same thing. Those 2 white tabs, we'll pull it out, and once again we'll just make sure this connector right here lines up just like that. So now that we've successfully transferred the control arms to the new clock spring, we can just go and install this on the vehicle. So now we'll start by putting these 2 connectors back in here. So you have to start with a yellow connector first. It's got that tab on the side there, and that goes in like that, and then the gray one goes in from the top. Just like that. Once you've got them in, you're going to slide it over here and then you'll put this connector on. Okay. This white connector is just going to push in as well. Wait until you hear the click. There we go. And then this tab will move into that slot right there. Now these screws will line up to their holes, and these are Phillips screws, so you'll just tighten them. Just got to be snug, hey? Don't over tighten them. Clock spring came with these screws already in place, and there we are. Now we need to put this cover back on again. So now we'll put these screws back in again. So when you put your steering wheel back in, make sure you've got your marks lined up again so the steering wheel is straight. And then you'll put your nut back on. You can hand tighten it as far as it will go. And then you'll just tighten it up now with your ratchet. Just make sure you hold the steering wheel. And you got to make this pretty tight. There we go. Now you're going to plug in this connector again. So now we'll put our airbag back on, and we have the two connectors, the yellow and the orange. Pop this on and then press that lock button right in. You do the same with the orange. Pop that in. And then lock it down. This is your horn connector right here. It's really short. You gotta make sure you got that plugged in. Once you've got these airbag connectors on, you've got your horn back on, you're ready to put the airbag back in place. These two will go there, and this one will go in the bottom. We'll just line them up. Give it a nice whack, and it's back in place, and that's it. You know, reconnect your battery, and then you'll be ready to go. Right now we'll just reconnect our battery. So now we have to reset the airbag light, and if you don't have a code reader to reset it, there's a manual way you can do it. Let me show you. Turn the vehicle on. Turn it off as soon as that light goes off. Count to 3, 4, 5 seconds. Turn it back on. Wait until that light starts blinking. Turn it off immediately. Count another 5 seconds. Turn it back on. Don't start the engine, just turn it on. And then turn it off as soon as the light goes off. Another 5 seconds. You turn it back on. Now it's going to blink slowly. Now you wait 30 seconds while it's blinking slowly. After 30 seconds you turn it off. Now we're going to wait 10 seconds and we'll turn it back on. And the light is off. Now we'll start the vehicle. And voila, the airbag light is not coming on again. Well, that's how to reset it if you don't have a code reader.